When we were kids in the backyard, playing astronauts and rock stars, no one told us to stop it, called us unrealistic. Then suddenly you're 18, go to college for your plan B. What you want is too risky. Live for weekends and whiskey. We all got these big ideas. One day they're replaced with fears. How did we get here? Darling, don't quit your daydream. It's your life that you're making. It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream?
It's Fancy Pants and Curious George coming at you with a gear video. I had mentioned that I was going to attempt to put one together, so this is going to be my attempt. You may get bits and pieces of our two kitty cats. Onyx is the black one. Pearl is snugging with me right now. Anywho, done is better than perfect, so here we go. I'm going to start by talking about what I've got on the outside of the pack, and then I'll unpack it and show you guys exactly what I'm taking for gear. So first of all, my backpack is a Z-Packs Arcol 62 liter, and I've used it before. It's great. My only issue with it is it's not really comfortable over 30 pounds, and I'm pushing that limit right now with everything that I've got packed. But anyways, in no particular order here, I've got my Crocs. I'm going to use these as camp shoes. I have a Six Moon Designs umbrella, Silver Shadow umbrella, that I'm going to carry with me. I have, this is my trowel for digging a cat hole when needed. In this pocket here, I have my water filtration system. This is a 2-liter CNOC bag, and I have the Sawyer Squeeze filter. All right, let's see. Nothing in the other pocket yet, I don't think. Chances are what I'll put in the other pocket are my smart water bottles that I used to carry filtered water in. So pulling this out, one thing I have done to help keep myself organized is put things in colored dry sacks. I believe in redundancy, and you'll see that as I unpack the rest of my pack too. But this dry sack will keep everything dry, so no problem storing it on the outside of my bag. And what I keep in my blue sack are most of my toiletry items. I'm not going to unpack each individual bag, but I'll just give you a quick look. This is my first aid kit that I have, and it's made out of a very lightweight material called DCF, Dyneema, or Dynamic, or Dyneema carbon fiber, or something like that. Anyways, it's lightweight. And I'll show you a couple of the things I have inside. I carry an extra Bic lighter in case the one that I have in my cook system malfunctions. I've got a backup. I've got some Band-Aids. I've got a repair kit for my air mattress in case that springs a hole. Couple of alcohol pads. I have this stuff right here, which is called tenacious tape. Should any of my equipment get a rip in it, say my jacket or the backpack, anything at all, this is really, really strong stuff. I actually used this to repair my umbrella that I'm bringing, because when I held it up to the light, I could see through it, and I said, that's not good. Very, very good for that. And what else do I have in here? I have a mini Swiss Army knife like this. I have fingernail clippers so I can trim my toenails when they get too long. Some moleskin, which is great for blisters should they occur. Hoping to not get any blisters because of the socks I wear, and I'll show you guys those in a minute. I have a tick remover tool. Put this over the tick if you find one on you and pop it right off. And some antibiotic ointment and some wipes. Oh, and also a couple small pieces of Velcro. So it's a lot. I may have missed a couple items, but I keep all of this stuff in my first aid kit just so it's easy to get to. Moving on in the bag. So I have in this bag right here, I've got my toothbrush, toothpaste. I do carry, I'll try to use an appropriate word, butt wipes with me. Firmly believe in them. And some people say, well, you can save weight if you put your butt wipes in the dryer and then add water to them when you're on trail. Well, try doing that when it's 20 degrees outside and you're pouring water on the butt wipe to moisten it. It's not fun. So I choose to carry the extra weight. These are ready to go, ready to use. Wouldn't be without them. Oh, and also I have some what's called Lady Anti-Monkey Butt powder. Yes, I do wear the same underwear for several days in a row, and you do your best to keep clean, but this is really helpful for just keeping the irritation down there to a minimum. What else? I have floss. I think that's pretty much it in that bag. I may have missed a thing or two. I have medications right here that I have to carry with me. I have a bag with some Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. One of the best ways to prevent viral illnesses on the trail like norovirus is through proper hand washing. Now, will I wash my hands every day? Probably not. But just having that soap available to use, it's much more effective than hand sanitizer. So that's my reason for that. And I also have in here a little shower glove, weighs next to nothing. So when I stop at a hotel or a hostel on trail, I have something that I can scrub with. It's well worth it. And some instant towels. These are little tiny tablets. If you add water to them, they will expand and turn into a little wipe or so. I do have an extra gallon Ziploc bag just in case. Experience is the best teacher, I tell you. So my story behind the wanting to carry a gallon Ziploc bag is 2 years ago when I hiked. Unfortunately, I needed to wash my pajamas, and yeah, they say you're not really a through hiker until you have shedizzled yourself. Well, it happened, and I'm not going to go into the details of the story, but having that extra Ziploc bag to put the clothing in and add some water, a little bit of water to it and some soap, made it okay until I got to a place where I could properly clean it. And then I do have also an essential oil kit, which I've got inside an OPSAC bag, and this is a bag that prevents odors from getting outside. Yes, I can't smell anything through this. And I firmly believe in carrying these because essential oils, I mean, I use them all the time, and I'm not going to run through all the benefits of using them, but they will help me on trail. If I get a cut or, any kind of infection, I can use these to help support proper healing. That's pretty much it for my toiletry bag. What I'm going to also try to do is, if I'm able to figure out how to do it, given the fact that this is only my second YouTube video ever, is post a link to a website called lighterpack.com, and that will list every single item that I'm carrying in my pack and how much it weighs and all that. So, oops, George fell down, didn't he? What else do I have in this front pocket? So I have within easy reach, I have some Patagonia wool mittens. I have my rain suit, which honestly, you might say, why are you carrying a rain suit if you've got the umbrella? Well, the umbrella is great. When it rains, let me back up and say this. When it rains, you're going to get wet no matter what. So the umbrella is helpful for keeping rain out of my face. And also if I want to use my phone or take pictures or anything like that, at least my phone is dry. The windsuit pants or rain suit pants and rain suit top are helpful just as an extra layer. And by the way, this happens to be an outdoor research helium rain jacket. If anybody's curious about the brand or what to do, it's very lightweight. I've worn these before, and I love having that extra layer on trail. Also carry, and this is a bit of a luxury item. I have always journaled on trail. That's the last thing I do before I get all snug in my sleeping bag for the night. So I've got a 1-gallon Ziploc bag with 2 pens and a composition book. Yes, I could journal on my phone. There is an app. I'm going to try that out and see, but I've always had this with me, and it's I guess maybe comforting to be able to write down things that happen during the day. So I'll talk more about what I write in my journal once I get on trail. And the last thing in my front pocket here is a pack towel. What is a pack towel, you might say? Well, it's just a very, very lightweight, absorbent towel to use. If anything gets wet inside the tent, I can use this to wipe it up. Hopefully that won't happen too much, but if it does, so it's a pretty good sized towel. Very, very lightweight. And once again, the lighter pack list will show you the weights of these individual items. And let's see here, that pretty much does it. I'm going to have to go back and repack all this stuff. I don't want to take time during the video now to do that. So I have packed and unpacked so many times. And given the fact that this is the night before I leave on my big adventure, I'm kind of, it's good for me to pack and unpack one more time. So opening up my pack, let's see what I have. Very first thing I have on top is my tent, and I like to keep my tent on top in case I need to stop somewhere on trail and get my tent set up quickly. I like to have it in my pack and not down at the bottom so I don't have to dig for it. This is a Z-Pax duplex tent, so it is meant for 2 people. However, 2 people would be pretty tight if you include gear, and so I like to have my backpack inside the tent with me as opposed to leaving it outside in the vestibule. So that was the first thing. And if I roll down the top, you can see it a little bit. I line the inside of my pack with a trash compactor bag or contractor bag. I don't know how you say it. It's like a potato kind of thing. And I tie that closed at the top just as an extra layer. Now the pack is supposed to be waterproof, but once again, when it rains and you get wet. And that's why I say I like redundancy, because this is just an extra precaution about getting things wet, things not getting wet. Next, I have my synthetic puffy. It is a Decathlon 4-class, and I chose this synthetic because if it gets wet, it's easy to dry. It's very, very warm. I've used this before and been very happy with it. Next bag I'm going to take is, this is my electronics bag. It's in a gray Sea to Summit 4-liter dry bag. This is heavy, and it's heavy for a reason. I'm carrying 2 battery packs with me. Each one is 25,000 milliamps, which you might say, oh my God, that's a ridiculous amount to carry. But if you have ever run out of juice, battery, electricity on trail and not been able to take pictures, it's something you don't want to happen again. And that happened to me 2 years ago. So this year I'm starting out with 2, and the brand is, I'm not sure I'm going to say this correctly, Inu, I guess. I got 2 of these puppies that I'm bringing with me, and each one weighs probably about, I don't know, I'd have to look at my list and see, but maybe 8 ounces or whatever. Yeah, so it's a lot. These are great though because they recharge quickly. And moving along to some of the other items I've got in my electronics bag, I've got my wall plug that I use to charge things up when I have access to electricity. This is a 100 watt Inu wall plug as well. Once again, why, and this is a bit heavy. I probably could have chosen a lighter option, but it will help recharge my battery banks very quickly. Each of these banks will recharge to a full 25,000, well, not 25,000, but close to it. in about an hour and a half, which is really good. So if I don't want to spend too long in town one day, I have this and I can just stop, rest for a little while, charge my stuff up, and keep moving. Next, I have my cords, and I actually have another one that I think is over by my, nope, it's in here after all. These are 2 cords. This is a 1.5 meter cord, and this is a 0.3 meter cord. The brand is Nomad. Very, very sturdy. Weight-wise, I mean, I don't know really how they compare, but they're universal cords, so I can charge anything except something with a lightning plug. This has a USB-C, a micro USB, and a regular USB. I guess it's a USB-A maybe, on each one. So very, very helpful not to have to carry 50 bazillion different cords with you. This will take care of it all. And I will have my Apple iWatch cord that's plugged in right now because I used it last night as well. This is my Garmin InReach Mini. It is the satellite device that I will use on trail in case of emergency, and also to send text messages when I don't have cell service. So I feel like this is a very, very important piece of gear to have. One of the 7 leave no trace principles is plan ahead and prepare, and this is part of that. Next, I have my headlamp. This is a Nightcore. I think it's an NU25. I've had it for a little while. It does great. I seldom have to recharge this on trail because I don't use it a whole lot. I haven't done a lot of night hiking, but very lightweight, and I replaced the strap that it came with some really thin, stretchy cord just to save a couple ounces for what it's worth. Last but not least, one of my favorite little pieces of gear. This is a Flex Tail Gear tiny pump, and it's great to use to blow up your air mattress. I have tried using the pump sacks before, and I'm just not good at doing it. So I have this little pump, and this is an adapter that will work for the air mattress. Oh, and the other thing too is it doubles as a light, so I can use it inside my tent at night if I need to. Anyways, oops, different strengths. Okay. Why isn't it starting up?
Because as it turns out, my pump really was broken. Tried to charge it, it would not charge, but it must have had enough juice left on it for the light to still work. But the pump did not function, so whoa, check and recheck your gear before you go is the lesson learned here.
All right, those are my electronics. And I'll have to put all that stuff away afterwards so you don't have to sit here and watch. Next I have in a, I want to say it's a 13-liter bag, a yellow Sea to Summit dry sack. I have my food. In here I've packed what I estimated to be a 2-day supply. I think it might actually be a little bit more, but when I start out, that's my plan. I'll only need 2 days before I'm at a place where I can resupply. So I'm not going to go over all the food and everything now, but the other thing is too, when you first start out hiking, you find that you have to almost force yourself to eat. I'm usually not ever hungry. All right, next bag coming out is my cook system. This is in a 4-liter Sea to Summit dry bag. See what I mean about having the colors? It's really helpful keeping stuff organized on trail. And this is a bit of a luxury item here, but I did bring some fire starter materials in the event that I had to build a fire. I would be able to start one pretty easily, especially if the wood is damp or whatever. And this is my other big lighter. Here is my collapsible. I don't even know what kind of cup this is. It's a silicone cup, so it's pretty lightweight. This little bag right here has some paracord in it. It's what I call my bear bag cord. And this is what I use to hang my food at night. Maybe once I'm on trail, I'll attempt to do a video of me hanging the bag, because actually it can be quite comical. I put a rock in this bag, close it, and then throw it way up so it's up in the tree and blah, blah, blah. Not to get into the details of how you hang your food properly, but this is how I will do it on trail. And This is my long-handled titanium spoon, and you'll see why I have a long-handled spoon in just a minute. All right, let's pull this out. This is turning out longer than I had hoped. I was going to try to keep it to 15 minutes, but maybe I can speed parts of it up. I don't know. Anyways, this is my little BRS stove. This is my stove, y'all. It's tiny. Look how little it is. And what this thing does is it screws onto a container of fuel. And I'm not going to actually do it because I don't want to do it right here, but screw it on like so. And this is the canister that I will carry for fuel. It's got isobutane in it. And this is a brand I've never tried before. I went to Walmart, tried to get the MSR, which is my preferred brand, and they are out. They didn't have any. I went to a hardware store. I went to an outfitter store, which, if you can believe, an outfitter store not having fuel of any kind, I was like, what's with that? Anyway, so I screw this on here, and then they pretend it's screwed on. On top of that, I put my cook pot. So what I basically do is I pretty much use it to just boil water. Once the water is ready, it's stuck on my thumb. Okay. Once the water is ready, I take my food, and my food is prepackaged into Ziploc bags. I put the Ziploc bag into a pouch that I have made out of Reflectix, and let it sit for 20 minutes while I'm getting camp set up and all that. And that's my meal right there. So once I get on trail, I'll probably do more videos showing the details of that whole process. All right, moving along. Oh, in this next bag, I guess I'll pull it out. It's nice to hike in the cold weather, but one disadvantage is your gear's a lot heavier. So inside here, I have a 10-degree Zen Bibi quilt, a 25-degree Zen Bibi sheet, and perhaps once again, I'll give more details about that whole system. But basically, a sheet hooks onto the corners of my air mattress, and then the quilt clips to the sheet, and it is cozy, cozy, cozy. I love this sleep system. And the mattress that I'm using is also inside here. It's also a Zen Bibi mattress. I believe it's 20 by 72, if I'm not mistaken, and it has an R value of 5.2. So all my sleep stuff is in here. Yeah, it's chunky. And I'm hoping once the warmer weather comes that I'll be able to downgrade some of that stuff a little bit. I have another quilt, a 25-degree quilt, which I'll use when the weather gets warmer. Hello, Pearl. What are you doing? I also take with me a 1/8 inch Gossamer Gear foam pad. Very, very useful to protect the air mattress, to hopefully keep it from getting holes in it. Whether you're in your tent or in a shelter, this is the first thing I will lay down on the ground. And actually, it's not the first thing I lied. I put my footprint, my tent footprint down first if I'm sleeping in the shelter. And then I put this down, and then I put my mattress on top of it. So more details to come. All right, the last item in my bag, we're almost done, y'all, is my clothing bag. And this is a green, obviously, 8-liter bag that I have all of my clothes stuffed into. So let's open it up and see what I got in here. So I really, really wanted to try to get a hold of a Melanzana microgrid hoodie. Couldn't do it. They're very, very hard to get a hold of. So this is the next best thing, in my opinion. This is Mountain Hardwear, and I call it my Melly knockoff. That will serve as my mid layer. I'm just tossing stuff on the floor. Oh my gosh, what a disaster. And so my clothing bag doubles as a pillow at night. And I have a knee pad, which I'll pull out and show you in just a minute. It's got kind of an indentation here, and it's really, really comfy to use as a pillow. Pearl, no, I'm not in the mood to play right now, babe. So here it is. That's my knee pad. So I do have a partial knee replacement on my left knee that was done back in 2010. No problems with it since then, so knock on wood, continue that way. I was debating whether or not I was going to carry my sleeping bag liner with me, as I did upgrade to a 10-degree quilt. But I have decided, because we're supposed to have some really, really cold weather towards the end of the first week in January, beginning of the second week. So this just adds, it can add 8 to 10 degrees of warmth. So if you've ever been cold on a hike, you only have to be cold once. You don't want to be cold again. It's not fun. You don't sleep. You shiver all night. So hopefully this will, if I need it, will prevent me from doing that. I also, since I sleep cold, have a pair of Enlightened Equipment down booties. These things are really neat. I got these when I was on trail when I was hiking in 2022, because guess what? I was cold. Anyways, these things are great. Put them on my feet in the tent, and yeah, in my sleeping bag, and they keep me nice and cozy. Try to stuff that one back in there a little bit. All right, are we done yet? Not yet. I have my, I do not sleep in the same clothes that I hike in during the day, and that's a preference. Some people do. But I have, I call them my jammies. Anyways, it's a 250 merino wool top, smart wool. Ta-da! And then I have some undies, ex officio undies, which women, those are the bomb. They dry fast. They're just great. They last forever. And my jammy bottoms, 250 merino wool as well. So I'm hoping I will stay dry and comfy and whatnot. So, and that's it, guys. That's everything. So thanks for bearing with me. I think I'm going to end this now. And where's George? George, where'd you go? Oh, excuse me, little miss. What do you think, George? Are we ready? I can't believe after all these weeks of planning and just the past couple weeks, I've been excited. I oscillate between being excited and being nervous, and I think I'm as prepared as I can be. We'll find out. The trail is a good teacher, so if something doesn't work on trail, then you figure it out and see what happens. All right, Pearl, you go say bye? Huh? Can you say bye? Okay. Fancy Pants and Curious George signing out. Oh, I kind of knew this was going to happen. After I stopped the video, I'd say, oh, I forgot to do something. So, excuse me, technically the clothes that you wear are not included in your total weight, but I wanted to show y'all what I'm wearing once I start hiking anyways. So I have a short sleeve polyester top. I have my fancy pants so I can live up to my trail name. Yeah. And I also have a long sleeve polyester top. So firmly believe in layers. Gotta have those layers. Got my ex officio undies. The pair of, and these, if you've hiked before but never used these, then you need to get some, because I can almost guarantee you that Injinji toe socks will help prevent you from getting blisters. When I hiked in 2022, I think between Damascus and Harper's Ferry, I had maybe one blister. So that was pretty darn good. Your feet go through a lot when you're on trail, so having these are great. You might think, oh, are they comfortable? But, because I thought the same thing. I said, oh, these aren't going to be very comfortable, but they are. You get used to them. They're really not bad at all. So I've got my Injinji toe socks. And then on top of that, this year's something new for me. I'm going to try wearing a pair of compression socks. So that's what's going to go on top of those. We'll see. I had some foot surgery done back in August, so I still have a little bit of swelling going on in that foot, and that's my other reason for wanting to use the compression socks. And here is my sports bra. Call it the brand called CVG. What else? Almost done. I have a headband that I'll wear, and then my AT buff, Appalachian Trail buff, goes around my neck, which is really helpful for doing videos because it hides the wrinkles really well. And last but not least, I was debating about whether or not I was going to need this starting out, but I am going to bring it anyways. It is a long sleeve Jolly Gear shirt. Super comfortable. This is great to wear during the winter and the summer. It's got a little hood. So, especially with the cold coming up, I want to be sure that I have enough to wear and I'm not cold. So, George, can you tell Pearl to be quiet? Anyways, I think we're ready. Tomorrow's the big day, so I'm going to get this stuff repacked and see if I can get this video uploaded. Thanks, y'all, for bearing with me. Fancy Pants and Curious George, over and out. Where's my little thing for the video? Just shut it off. Whatever, I dropped it somewhere.